Hi guys, so I wanted to talk today about 4 of the reasons why I've decided to pay a voluntary carbon tax. So the first reason is that I think any change comes with information, and I discovered while I was doing the questionnaire on carbontax.org that I was actually having a bigger impact on the planet than I thought I was. So I've been living a zero waste lifestyle and eating a plant-based diet and recycling and taking short showers and unplugging my electronics at night and all these different things that I discovered doing my 365-day Gone Green 2016 series, where I picked apart everything I do in my lifestyle and then found sustainable solutions for it. But I hadn't sort of thought about the impact of my travel. So both my husband and I are living in Europe, and we're both from North America, so we travel once or twice a year to see our families. And then we also, because it's so cheap to sort of hop around here in Europe, we were spending a lot of time flying to Spain or Portugal or whoever had cheap flights basically, for vacations or for work or kind of everything in between. So when I did the questionnaire, I had a rating of 3.0, and the average rating of the average American is 10.0. But once I put in the travel that we had done the year before, it moved up from 3.0 to 11, which made me worse than the average American. So that kind of brings me to my second reason, which is that I wanted to offset my carbon. Carbontax.org invests the money that we pay in voluntary taxes into projects in conservation and renewable energy. So they're basically doing the legwork that we're unable to do because we're living our lives and contributing to society in other ways. So the third reason is that when you pay taxes for something, you tend to consume less of it. So, for example, when they put taxes on cigarettes, people began consuming less cigarettes because it was no longer an affordable habit to have. And this is kind of the same idea behind the polluter pays principle. The more taxes you're paying to offset your carbon, the less you're going to consume products or do actions that cause your carbon footprint to rise. So the fourth reason is to influence policy. So basically, when you choose to pay a voluntary carbon tax, you're letting policymakers and politicians know that this is something that you would get behind. Our politicians are our representatives, and therefore they kind of listen to public opinion overall. So for example, when Obama was running for president, he was against gay marriage, but whilst he was president, he legalized gay marriage because public opinion had shifted so much during the time that he was in office that it was not only a good political move to do the right thing, but the public had gotten behind and almost influenced him to make that decision. And this is kind of the same idea with carbon taxes, is that if we choose to pay voluntary carbon taxes, that politicians and policymakers will react in kind. So each of us as individuals kind of become activists, and the more of us that choose to pay voluntary carbon taxes, the more influence we're going to have over the policies that are being made over the next years. So that kind of wraps up all the reasons why I've decided to pay my carbon taxes. And I've also written a blog post that sort of talks more in depth about each of these things. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like sort of what I'm doing here, then please subscribe. And thank you for taking the time to watch.